Hello, everyone. It's Rory here at the Eurovision site, and I'm joined by the lovely.
Shiloh. I'm Shiloh. Hi.
Hi.
I
No,
didn't realize you were going to make me introduce myself. I thought you were going to introduce me.
no, sorry. No, it's just nice. It's nice to get to
Yes.
know people's faces and voices. Yeah, so we are still continuing on like in the midst of national final season, things are really heating up now. And we're here to talk about the quite possibly the first song that came out from an internal selection this year. I'm pretty certain it is. It was Slovenia with Raiven and Veronika. So, of course, Veronika in itself and like Raiven just even taking part is already like a step and it's a choice and it's a great choice, I think. I mean, like what do you make of Raiven coming in?
Well, obviously it's a big deal. Um, for many, many long-time Eurovision fans, we've known about Raven for a while since, was it 2015 and 2016 or 2016 and 2017? She had two back-to-back really banger national final entries. Everybody was really excited about her. She kind of fell off the face of the earth for a bit, and now she's here, and they've internally selected her, and it's great. So when she was announced, a lot of people were very, very excited, myself included, because like she was finally getting her chance to go.
Definitely. I mean, she's been at Emma, like the national final for Slovenia, three times, hosted it in the 1 year gap that she didn't do it. So that in itself shows that she is interested in trying to go to Eurovision. And I mean, with that sort of experimental sound that we had kind of gotten to know from her through 2016, 2017, and 2019, like we were hyped up. There's no denying that. We were definitely like, because we knew that we were going to get like good quality music, isn't it?
It
Oh,
is it is good quality music. I will say I have some reservations about the song. Do we want to talk about that now or do we want to get to that later?
uh, yeah. We'll save it for now, just because obviously we have to
Yeah,
introduce
but
the
it is
song.
good quality music. I do like the song a lot. I think it is so on the day we're recording this, I went and I listened to like 10 national final selections because I've been just woefully behind viewers. Like seriously, I have not been caught up. And Veronica is still in my top 10, which, I think I have her like fifth or something. Um, so it's good. I still like it, but I do have some capital T thoughts as well.
Definitely. I mean, the fact that we're now what we at the time of recording this, we have around want to say about 15 songs or so that have come
No,
out.
we have 20. If we're including Belgium, we have 20.
Oh my God. Okay, right. We are well over the halfway mark then. Jesus Christ. I thought we were further behind in the selection period than we actually are. Okay, perfect. Well, because of that, I mean, I've still seen quite a lot of people like have Veronica still in the top 10, which in itself is unheard of for Slovenia because people tend to underrate Slovenia for some reason and they kind of just say, oh, like it's the little engine that could, but actually nothing ever really goes
This
that
was
far.
so true of Joker Out. Joker Out were so robbed, you
You know,
guys.
and
Like,
that, yeah, crazy to say the least. But yeah, like the fact that like people are actually still having this like hype for her, I think that's a really good sign. I think it's really good. Right, we'll talk about the song now because this song is called Veronica. It's based on the sort of legend of a witch that was, or a woman who was believed to have been a witch and therefore drowned for it. And it's a really big legend in Slovenia. I mean, when you first heard this song, what was your sort of like initial impression?
I mean, I liked it. I have enjoyed Raven's music for a long time. But even from the beginning, I got the impression that I didn't like it as much as what she'd previously competed with on EMA. I think that she has gone for a slightly more pop sound in this one. It's a little more in your face. One of the things that I really liked about Zajarim and especially Chernobyl is like the subtlety and the darkness. And there's darkness in Veronika. Like you have the same dark, mysterious, mystical, witchy element to it, but it is overpowered in some places by what I think might be just an attempt to appeal to the popular audience. I think that, yeah, so it's a bit out of line with what I've previously really enjoyed from her. That doesn't mean I don't like it. Like I said, I still do love the song, but it is less of what I had been expecting from her, is what I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's weird because like how you were kind of comparing it to a little bit of sort of like Zajarim and Chernobyl. Like I would say that it's a bit of a mix between Chernobyl and Chaos in that kind of sense that of like the electronic elements are quite strong in there, and it's very clear that that's kind of what the ethos of this song kind of was musically. I think when I first heard it, I kind of like was a bit unsure because, you know, again, with it when it comes to Raiven, I have to usually myself give like the song at least 2 or 3 times before I have to like I fully form an opinion on it and whether or not I really like it or not. So it took a while, and it wasn't the first thing that like hit, oh my god, you know, like this is winner. It wasn't giving me winner vibes immediately straight off the bat. So with that, I mean, the bar could only go up basically. And to be fair, since then, I have come to really like it. You know, I think it is still quite experimental. You know, like she shows off her vocal capabilities, you know, like definitely towards the end. Um, I guess maybe just because of the little teaser that we had before the song actually came out, we were hearing like these kinds of like weird clicky electronic-y kind of vocal kind of clips, and it gave off the impression of something a lot more experimental, and we didn't really get that this time round. So I was kind of, I guess maybe we were having very high expectations of what she was trying to do, and because obviously because we know what she can do, then when we got the actual song, our kind of expectations weren't fully met because we just were like, but you can do so much better, you know. And yeah, and it's a shame, but like I mean I still love the song. Like I said, like I it's for me, I think it's currently like my fifth place or something like that, I want to say. But obviously things will change depending on like whoever gets selected elsewhere. uh but I'm intrigued to see what it's like. And like I mean, of course, sort of circling back to the thing, I mean, to our previous conversation as well, like Joker Out, for example, I mean, Boyan has written this song as well. He's also had a
Yes.
hand in writing this. So, I mean, do you think that this could kind of have a little bit of a carry through from that potentially?
And what do you mean by carry through?
Like, as in, like, like an effect, because obviously people liked Joker Out, and the fact that they would kind of continue on because they know the name, like, partly because of name recognition within the songwriting team.
I mean, I think that for some people, Raiven is going to have more name recognition than Joker Out. Um, I I I I think that it is fair to say that Joker Out's, fans, which they have a very large fan base now. Actually, they didn't do super well at Eurovision, but they have a really big and devoted and loyal fan base now. Um, I think that she will definitely be getting support from them because of Boyan's involvement. Um, I think there are also just a lot of people who recognize Raiven in her own right, just because she's been around the national final circuit for as long as she has been. Um, it probably has some good name recognitions in the other Balkan countries and the surrounding area. So I think that yes, there will be some of that, but not it won't outweigh disproportionately what she would get just by being herself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think as well, like she has been such a standalone artist for such a long time anyway. You know, the fact that she's just collaborating with another really famous Slovenian artist, I think is just I think it won't hurt her chances, essentially,
Yeah.
you know. And of course, like, I mean, seeing this kind of new birth of like really popular acts go for Slovenia, such as Joker Out, such as Raiven now, I mean, surely this has to be a step in the right direction for Slovenia. I mean, coming dead last in 2022 to then qualifying in getting into like what 15th, 16th, 17th place in 2023. Surely this could be, I don't know, the beginning of a new era for Slovenia, maybe.
You know, I would love to see Slovenia win at some point in the next 5, 10 years. I would love it. I think this is absolutely a step in the right direction. You know, on the one hand, as much as I talked about, yeah, I don't really like the more poppier direction that she went in with this song. I also think that that was probably a strategic choice. I think that it's likely that they thought, okay, her approach alienated some voters the first few times, and so we're going to change it a little bit to see if she can get more public appeal. You know, maybe if she had been a little bit more poppy in 2016, she would have won EMA. I don't know. I like the song as it was, but I can't speak for the whole general public. So that was probably a strategic move. But so yeah, I think that I would love to see this qualify. I think it has a pretty decent chance of qualifying to the final and not being dead last at least. Um,
Yeah, we can hope. I mean, at least it can't get much worse than dead last. And I think, you
yes.
know, she's shown herself to be a competent live performer anyway. So we know
Hmm.
that she can deliver and she has a concept already. We've seen that from the music video, you know, that like this whole kind of mermaid siren kind of vibe, you know. So it's just a case of building on the hype that's already there for her and then having some kind of artistic vision in and the again I feel like this song could really come down to staging, like where
Hmm.
this goes, because it has this dark feel, but then also at the same time it lends itself to really sort of big bombastic staging, which usually kind of dark songs wouldn't necessarily always go for. So
Hmm.
it could go either way. I mean, like how do you feel like they could stage something like this?
I feel this is hard. I feel that Slovenia has struggled with staging historically. I think really one of the best staged Slovenian songs was almost universally disliked, which was 2017. Like the song was very boring, but it was staged really well. And they haven't really topped that since. I think that Joker Out staging was good. I also think it could have been better. And, you know, everybody likes to bring back 2016 and the pole dancer and all that. Like it's not their strong suit. But I would love just like white dress, big long, or it doesn't even have to be white, big long dress, mostly dark stage, just some really dramatic white spotlights, minimal background graphics, like a little bit to I can't pronounce French. The Swiss song.
Oh, what, to l'univers?
Yeah, a little bit that. Um, a little bit that, a little bit 1944, but less color. I'm not sure if this is cohering into something at all, but I have an image in my head. I just can't get it out of my mouth.
You have a vision, it's just not coming out the way that you want it to. But yeah, I get what you
Yes.
mean though. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does, like, I mean, like it does lend itself to this kind of over feel, like it can do quite well on a stage because it has such punch to it. You know, I think she just needs to be front and center of this. You know, like there probably will be like some dancers or something like that just to kind of give
Oh,
maybe
I
something
hope
a
they
bit more
don't do
interesting.
dancers. I don't think dancers would help them.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think that the simpler they go for this song, the better. If it is just Raven standing on stage with some like black and white lights, black and white background, I think it'll be great. I don't want them to have too many text or images behind her. I don't want there to be dancers. I want it to be just as simple and grand and elegant as they can possibly go.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I would love to see a little bit of like strobe effects. I feel like some strobes with that sort of, especially towards the end, would kind of really help to kind
Yeah,
of
I could
elevate
see
it,
that.
you
I
know?
could see that during the bridge.
Yeah. And then maybe like some, maybe not pyro, but like some kind of thing just at the end, like just to give it a real kind of end feel, because it lends itself to this kind of big ending with this whole like crescendo, and then it just, but then obviously then it just kind of cuts quite easily, so like it just has something as a nice way to like just punctuate it, I think would just kind of really just be a nice finishing touch. Obviously we won't know any of this until rehearsals start
Hmm.
or anything like that, but I guess we'll only just have to wait and see. But I mean, basing it
Yeah.
now, like we are, as we said, we're recording this about like halfway through with the songs kind of picked.
It's
Where,
February 19th.
yeah. So where would you sort of predict that this would maybe go?
Somewhere between 16th and 10th total. Obviously, we have maybe just more than half the songs at this point. There's a lot yet to be revealed. There are a lot of songs with a lot of hype, but I think that the fact that this song has held up for you and me since it's released, that is probably a point in her favor. People who have heard it will probably continue to like it. They'll know that they like it. Um, and I think that is definitely a point in her favor. As you've said, we know that she does really well live. That can't hurt.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, I think there are some fan favorites right now that are just not going to do very well. And so I think we can't discount that.
Look, as I mean, as we are, prone to doing as fans, we like to overhype certain songs and then underhype certain other ones. So I guess there will probably will be a few that won't really do as well as we think they will. But I would love to see this do really well again. I would think, it's been a long time since Slovenia's broken into the top 10. The best placing that they've ever had was like seventh, and that was back in 2001, the last time that happened. So like they're due a really good result. And again, so far the odds are in her favor. So like I'm hoping that they're not going to mess it up with some poor staging, or she's not going to have a mental like kind of like a note vocal problem like on the way, like or something like that. We can only just sort of cross our fingers, I guess, and just hope for the best. But like if we could get like Slovenia back into the top 10, I think that would be fantastic.
Oh, I would love it.
There have been so many songs that Slovenia have sent that need that deserved to be in the top 10, and then they just didn't. So it's like,
Here's the thing about Slovenia. They always send such great music. But like I said, they struggle with the staging, and Eurovision isn't really just a song contest anymore. And that's hard. I think that is something that has definitely been to Slovenia's detriment, is the increased focus on staging in the past, over the past 20 years. I think that has definitely hurt them. But
yeah,
they just send such good songs.
hate it. I hate it so much. I mean, like my poor heart will always sink for when Sebi didn't do as well as I wanted it to. It's just
Yeah,
like,
that was so good.
they did the best that they could with the staging for that, but then obviously
Yeah,
like maybe that just wasn't what people were feeling, and like, but they made a lot of progress compared to how they had in the selection. So
yeah. I
you
do
don't.
think that they're definitely on an upward trajectory. I think it is altogether possible that Raiven will do better than Joker outdid, and I would love to see them only go up from here. I think, as you said, I think they're due. And the other thing that I would love to see happen with Raiven is I would love to see her blow up internationally after, no matter how she does at Eurovision. I think that there are people the world over who would love her. Over the past couple of years, we've seen a lot of Eurovision acts really do well outside of the contest. I mean, Sam Ryder's still hanging around. Like I said, Joker Out have their fan base. I saw in the United States, I saw a girl with a Måneskin t-shirt on just last week. I think that it's not just as cursed anymore as it was 5 years ago. And I would just love to see Raiven get some more international recognition as a result of her Eurovision participation. I would love to see that.
Yeah. And I think as well, like, it's not just keeping it to sort of like the countries that people would know of. So for example, like Italy and the UK and stuff like that. I mean, like again, Rosalind is from Armenia, like,
Right.
and then she still managed to break in to become the second most streamed Eurovision song of all time. So
And
like
she went on tour with Ed Sheeran or something like that. Like,
literally. So like anything is possible for Raven. And I think given her electronic background plus her breakthrough into opera, like that in itself is, you know, it lends it herself just like having so many different ways to try and get in. I think it'd be perfect. I don't see how this couldn't work out well for her in the long run. But I guess we
yeah.
won't know until May comes around, won't we? So who knows? Who knows how things will finish, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so do we have any sort of final points just before we wrap things up for this video?
I don't have anything else to say. Thank you for having me. I have some strong feelings about this song, clearly.
Very clearly, but you know what? That's the kind of thing that we need, and it shows that it's interesting then, because at least you know you really love it or you really hate it. Like it's one of these ones.
Right.
You're not one like that if it's just pleasant, that it's in the same way that like how everyone else is sort of doing a thing where it's like if you finish 11th across everyone, like yeah, you might be nice, but you're not going to get any points. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, there we go. So hopefully, fingers crossed, will Slovenia will pick up all the points. Who knows what will happen? We'll see what happens. But yes, thank you so much anyway for watching this video. Let us know what you think about Slovenia's song. Do you think that Veronika will do really well? Do you think that it will crash and burn? Where would you like to see it go? You know, like how would you like to see Raiven sort of stage this? Like obviously this is a conversation, so let us know what you think. In the meantime, please follow us on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, Tumblr, Blue Sky, any of them, basically. If you name a social media, we've got it. And then they're
And if
all,
we haven't got it, tell us and
and we will set it
we'll
up.
be there. We're gonna corner the market.
Literally, like we're going to be on every single social one. I think we were on Mastodon for a while, and then that just kind of just died out for a bit. So that in itself is interesting. But yes, we're all on there at That Euro site. Also follow That Eurovision podcast as well at That Euro podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And yeah, I cannot wait to see what comes through in May. So thank you so much. See you later.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.